So let me explain why in the first place, right? Why LEC? Somewhere, in the journey of building Right Horizons, okay, Right Horizons basically is a wealth management company. Okay, we have about 50 odd employees and sort of all India presence and stuff. I felt the need to, I was searching for what are the things we can do to evolve, right? Not for today, but maybe 5 years from now, right? So, and as part of that, one of the things that I was searching for was how do we look at building, self-managed teams, right? Rather than, okay, with a whip you run around, and in our industry there's some videos also that, are floating around, where the type of reviews that happen, right? So the thought was, how do we build an organization which is self-managed and people sort of drive it themselves. And as part of, that search, I think one of the things that we came across was LEC. So when Rasha told me this is what it is, I immediately said yes, without, too much of a push. And so since there, it's been a journey. For me, what I believe is a lot of the time, it's about yourself, right? How do you keep, looking at yourself? How do you improve? How do you see what's not going right? And then see, what is it that one can look at? And that has been, great to have, as part of this journey. What I liked about LEC, we've, like I said, one was searching for some of these liberated organizations. There was some of the consulting assignment that we worked with somebody for. But somehow, a lot of it, I was not seeing, getting into implementation, right? And the tools that sort of LEC provides, I think, really make it very practical, very easy for you to do, right? So what are the various tools? I think right from the golden vibe, which sort of sets you towards your purpose. Okay, I realized my golden vibe was that of a catalyst, and that is something that, it then, once you know it, you also focus on it and see how to, do that and, leave aside some of the other things. The owner's tool is another one, fantastic one for conversations. Okay, how do you structure it? How do you bring it from the perspective of the other person, right? Because typically what happens, you are pushing and saying what you want to do, and that's what I used to do before, right? Say, do this, do that, and stuff. So then slowly, it sort of changes that perspective. One wanted to do it the other way, right? But wasn't sure how to. And so those are some of the tools which sort of help and do that. The work sculpting, at some point I was trying to see how do I free up my time. Okay, so that was good. Both, of course, professionally as well as a little bit of the personal time, what to rejig. I'm always doing too many things. Okay, so again, the tool sort of helps you structure it in a certain way. And also doing some of the projects, okay, that's the other thing. I think for some of us who've not done, I think it's a fantastic thing to look at, because I think when you go through some of these, right, you slowly start building it yourself, you start thinking about it, and you start working on your business, right? And I think that's very, very valuable. One of the projects that I did was about, how to focus on the outcome, right? Because the temptation always is, to keep on fiddling around and, getting involved in everything, right? And so how do you focus on the outcome was something that one did. Then also the league. Yes, we have a very successful league. We learn from each other. I think what I believe many times, it helps you crystallize your thoughts, right? And some things are so obvious, right? And you'll give the maybe advice to everybody else, okay? But you'll just not look at it or do it yourself, right? So those are sort of wake-up calls for you to say, okay, you know what? Come on, do this. So some things like that sort of broadly helped do that. And so coming back to what are the benefits, right? I think one is, of course, it firmed up the purpose a little bit more, and a lot of the decisions that you're looking at, a lot of the things that you're getting involved in, okay, you sort of go back and say, is it in line? with what one is doing. And that's something that clarity of purpose is something that helped significantly. Somewhere it's also about the teams moving more towards a liberated journey. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Like we also have a SEBI-registered PMS, and I have 2 co-fund managers who fantastically self-managed. Okay, broadly in fact, they started off as research persons, slowly build them, and of course they were also good, to give them credit to it. Okay, they were very quick learners, gave them responsibilities on fund management, and today, they'll broadly come back, saying that maybe this is the action that we need to take, or do you think we can do it? Just coming back for very high level stuff. Similarly, we've always had a problem getting people. People is, recruitment in our industry is extremely, tight and difficult. And even if you see, retention rates are very, very low. They're almost like a 40% attrition, for the largest of banks and institutions and stuff, right? And so that keeping that, so it was always a challenge. And my person who sort of heads the relationship management team, he suddenly, worked on himself. He transformed himself. Actually, people said that he's not a good leader, maybe an individual player, but I went against the suggestions of everybody and sort of gave that responsibility. And today he's gone and recruited across Mumbai, across Pune, across Chennai. And when I go and tell people, we've recruited people here from much larger companies, they say, oh, how did you do that? We are still searching and trying to do it. So some of it completely himself. Once in a way, I wonder, why doesn't he come and tell me? Right? So that temptation is always there, but that, something, I think it's fantastic that slowly, things are moving much more. And one point that I wanted to, bring forward to all of you is to get the benefits that, that we can have, okay, it also requires some bit of effort from our side, right? And what happens is many a times we get lost in our day-to-day stuff. I'm sure all of us want to do it, right? But we get lost. So what I try to do is have something which is, let's say, the weekly or something like that, a trigger, and that forces you into going and doing some of those things. It's also about I always keep quoting Balaji, that it's all in the conversation, right? So a lot of the people issues and everything else, is about maybe how you can do that conversation, how you can do it in an environment of trust, okay? And I'm sure if you continue to follow through, take advantage of the resources that you have here, I'm sure, you will reach great heights. Thank you, Balaji, for